Hello students, I am Anjali. I am Assistant Professor of Department of CAC AML Department. I am going to teach the Statistical Foundation of Data Science. We are going to learn in this session introduction, importance of data pre-processing, characteristic of quality data, and 5 stages of data pre-processing. But before moving to next slides, I want to tell about the statistical foundation of data science. Why we need the statistical foundation of data science? Actually, first we have to know about data science. Nowadays, we are listening about the data science continuously. Everything we are listening the data science. What is meant by first we have to learn about the data. What is data? It is the combination of images, text, videos, videos, then audios. This is about the data. That means data is the combination of images, text, videos, audios, and even we can see the raw data. It is raw things. So that means, but we can say that data and information. Listen, most of the people saying that data is the information. Yeah, it is the data is information, but data is information which is used for the processing after collecting the things. After collecting the things. That means information is relevant data. Information is relevant data. Before going to these things, first I would like to tell about the modules. Statistical foundation will cover the some modules like first one flavors of data, then second one mathematics, related to mathematics, then third one related to probability, fourth one is related to statistics, and fifth one is related to communication and visualization. These are all about the modules of the statistical foundation of data science. First, we need to know about the data science. What is data science? Actually, it is the combination of computer science, statistics and maths, and business intelligence. That means there is a diagram. CS, computer science. Then here will be statistics and mathematics. There will be the business intelligence. That means all about this is data science. Nowadays, data is increasing day by day. Only Excel sheet cannot perform all things. That's why we need of data science. We have to maintain these all data So we have to hire some things, we have to hire some employees like data scientists, data engineers, data analysts. Everything, every person, every employee is here for handling the data. Data analyst will analyze the data. Data scientist will give the it will process on it and give the result. And uh, data engineer will again it will build the architecture of the data. That means this is all about the data science. Now we will we will see the already we have seen the data and information. Obviously data is the collection of raw facts. Data is collection of raw facts. And information is the relevant data. Information is a relevant data. Now we are going to for teach about the we are going to learn about the data pre-processing. First, uh, before going to pre-processing, we have to know about the first module. We have to clear our concept about the first module. That means the flavors of data. In the flavors of data, we have to learn about the data. We have learn about the its types. Then we have learned about the some labels. We have learned about the some labels of data. Then after that we have learned about the steps of data. Actually, everything, everywhere, we have to cover all things. Data, what is data? Data means it is the raw fact. But sometimes data is not in the structured or structured format also. Sometimes we get the data in structured format and sometimes we get the in structured format. Then after that, there are some types. We have to cover some levels of data. That means nominal level, ratio level, interval level, and then there are some steps of data which we have to cover all the things. That means asking question, explore data, collecting data, modeling data, and then communication. That means all these steps we have already covered in the first module. Now we will going to learn about the data pre-processing. First, we are we will see the data pre-processing. Actually, for before pre-processing, there is need of collection of data. Without collecting of data, you cannot process on it. So you have to collect the data from various sources. You have to collect your data from various sources. That means if you you have collected the data from Google or some sites, then obviously that data always is not necessary that it will be in structured or unstructured format. Structured or unstructured format. It is not necessary. When we are collecting the data, it will be it should be in the unstructured format. It should be in structured format. It should be in qualitative data. It should be quantitative data also. But after pre-processing, so and if this data is available, structured, unstructured, whatever it is, we have to process on it for getting the some results. So, uh, what is data pre-processing? It is the process of transforming the raw data into useful, understandable format. Even we can say that meaningful, meaningful format. Right? If data is not in an understandable format, then you cannot process on it. If data is not meaningful format, if it is not understandable format, then obviously you cannot perform on it. That means if you are transforming the data, if you want the data, that means that should be in the meaningful format. That should be in the useful format. So after collecting the data, there is a need of transforming the data into the understandable format, useful format. We know that in real world, actually, when we collect the data, that data should be duplicate. That data should be duplicate. Should be inconsistent format. Should be there garbage value. There should be garbage value. There should be human errors. There should be human errors. There should be sometimes missing attributes. There should be missing attributes. That means if if we have data in this form like missing attributes, inconsistent format, then garbage value, then obviously we have to process on it. Without processing, you cannot perform any operations on it. So for this purpose, we have to do data pre-processing. Actually, that means it is the process of removing incorrect, corrupted, garbage, incorrectly formatted, duplicate, and incomplete data within the data set. Within the data set. Now, and data pre-processing is the very important step for the data mining and machine learning projects. Very important process, because if you will not processing the data, then obviously you will get some errors. You will get some uh, different outputs. You, and you will get some outdated information also. That's why there is a need of data pre-processing after collecting the data. Now, why is data pre-processing required? Actually, after pre-processing, it is very easy. It is very easy to for interpreting the data and use for using the data, because after pre-processing, it will eliminate the inconsistencies and duplicates in data. Obviously, when we are collecting the data from different sources, there should be the inconsistency, there should be the duplicates of data. So we have to remove these things. If there are inconsistency in duplicates, then obviously it will affect negatively on your model's accuracy. So we have to avoid these negative impact. We have to avoid negative impact on our model. That's why we have to do data pre-processing. And actually, obviously, it ensures that after data pre-processing, it ensures that there is no incorrect and missing values. No human beings, no human errors or any bugs. Because if there are errors, there are bugs, then obviously it will decrease the accuracy and correctness of your data. That's why you have to avoid these all things. You have to remove all things that you have to avoid all these things. So there is a need of data pre-processing. If you will not perform this process, you will not using the data pre-processing, then obviously there should be possibilities of decreasing the um, correctness and accuracy of your data. That means in data pre-processing, even or after data pre-processing, uh, the incorrect values should be removed. Did you get it? In short, employee data processing techniques makes the database more complete and accurate. I already told that without data pre-processing, you cannot do anything. You cannot take particular data. You cannot get the correct data. For getting correct data, you have to do data pre-processing. And after doing the pre-processing technique, even after applying the pre-processing technique, your database will be more complete and very accurate. Now we will see the characteristics of quality data. What is meant by quality data? Quality data is that it is showing the correctness and accuracy of your data. Obviously, if there is no inequality data, then you cannot do anything without quality data. You cannot perform some operations. First, that means the quality data is showing the consistency. Quality data is showing the consistency. What is meant by consistency? Obviously, if data is inconsistent, it may give the different answers for the same question. It may give the different answers for the same question. That means consistency showing that there should not be any contradictions. Should not be any contradictions. If there are any contradictions, then obviously it will give the errors in your data set. That means if there is inconsistency in your data, then it will give the different answers to the same question. That means your value should be consistent. Now, second one is the completeness. What is meant by completeness? Obviously, sometimes when we draw the table, at that time we should miss the data. That means, like, I will draw this some table. There is one thing, serial number, name, last name. Now, 1, 2, 3. This is that means in these two cells there is nothing. That means our fields are incomplete. Our fields are incomplete. There are lack of empty fields. But completeness is explaining that in your data should not be incomplete fields. That fields should be filled with the data. Should not be empty. You have to keep the data. You have to complete that data. After that, we will see the accuracy. What accuracy suggests that? That means accuracy suggesting your information is the correct. Accuracy suggesting the information is correct. You are on the right path. But if there is a outdated information, some types and some redundancy, then automatically it will affect on your data set's accuracy. Automatically it will affect. So this issues we have to avoid. this is issue we have to avoid. That's why we should avoid the complete. We should avoid the incomplete fields. We should avoid the empty fields. That means accuracy and completeness are both are related with each other. After that, validity. What is suggesting the validity? If obviously when you are writing this some program codes, there is some structures, there is some format. If you will not follow that format, then it will give you error. So that's why before using that data is considered valid if data sample appears in correct format. That means your data should be in the correct format. Without correct format, you will not get the validity for the data. You will not that dataset will not allow to move forward. That's why that means invalid datasets are very hard to organize and analyze your data. Invalid datasets are very difficult. It is very difficult to system to the users for organizing and analyzing the data if there is no any validity. That's why there should be the valid format. We have to follow the valid format for organizing our data. Next one, timeline is actually data should be collected as soon as the event it represent occurs. Obviously, we have to collect the data as soon as possible. We have to process on the data as soon as possible. If you have wasted the time, then automatically it will lose the accuracy. It will lose the accuracy or correctness of the data. Correctness of data. So we have to collect the data as soon as possible. You should not waste your time on it. You have to do as soon as possible. You have to process on it. That means your data should be updated correctly. Your data should be updated correctly. Did you get my point? Okay. Now we will move forward. Now there are 5 stages of data preprocessing. What are the 5 stages of data preprocessing? First, data cleaning. Second one is data integration. Third one is data reduction. Fourth one is data transformation. And fifth one is data discretization. These all are 5 steps of data preprocessing. What I have said: data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, data transformation, and data discretization. Now we will see one by one. First, we will revise the all things. What is data? Data preprocessing. Because before we are moving to data cleaning, we have to know all things. Data preprocessing means we have to remove garbage value, incomplete values, incorrect data. These all things we have to remove. These all things we have to remove. That means first is data cleaning. What is meant by cleaning? Cleaning means if if there is garbage value, then we have to remove it. Obviously, when we are collecting the data, that data should contain the incorrect values. That data should be that data should be in unstructured format. Data should be in unstructured format. Data should be in structured format. Then data should be qualitative, quantitative. Any type of data there can be available. If there is a unstructured data, garbage value, then obviously we have to remove it. And data cleaning is doing the same thing. Data cleaning doing the same thing. That means data cleaning, it is the process of fixing or removing the incorrect, corrupted, incorrectly formatted, duplicate or incomplete data within the dataset. That means we we have to remove. Data cleaning is the process of fixing the date incorrect, corrupted, incorrect formatted. There should be the duplicate data then or incomplete data within the data set. Obviously, when we are combining the data from multiple sources, there are many opportunities, there are very chances for data to be duplicated or mislabeled. Obviously, we are combining the data from various sources and there should be the possibilities of missing the data. There should be the possibilities of duplicating the data. And these things we have to avoid. Duplication of data, mislabeling of data, we have to avoid in the data cleaning. In the data pre-processing. So we are using the data cleaning. And data cleaning is we can say another things, process of cleaning data set by accounting for missing values, removing outliers, correcting inconsistent data points, and smoothing noisy data. Missing value means after collecting the data, there should be some missing values. There will be some outliers, that means errors. There should be consistency and some noisy data also. These issues we have to avoid. So for this purpose, we have to use the data cleaning process. Now we will move to next slide. But what is the main motive of data cleaning? Main motive is to offer complete and accurate sample. Complete and accurate sample for the machine learning models. Complete and accurate. If if the data is not complete and accurate, then you cannot process on it. You cannot process on it. So for processing purpose, your data should be accurate and complete format. Then we will see the purpose of data cleaning. Purpose of data cleaning. There are so many purposes. So eliminate data. Obviously, when you are doing something manually, you're doing something manually, then there should be errors. There should be errors. Even after collecting data, after collecting data, there should be error. So if their error occurred, then we have to eliminate that data by using the data cleaning process. Then eliminate redundancy. We have to remove the redundancy from your data. We have to remove the redundancy from our data. Then increase the data reliability. After applying the data cleaning process, you have to automatically it will increase the reliability. It will show about reliability about the data. Then delivery accuracy. That means it will deliver the accurate data. It will deliver accurate data. Then ensure the consistency. You have to ensure that about the consistency, because if there is an inconsistency, then automatically your answer will be different for same question. So we have to avoid these things. That's why there should be same value. There should be same value for the same value or same answer for same question. After that, assure completeness. Assure completeness means your all field or fields should be filled with the data. Should be filled with data. And then provide the feedback for the improvements. Provide the feedback for improvements. Now, when you are using the data cleaning, you have to provide the feedback for implementation, for improvement. After improvement, you can get you will get the accuracy. You will get the correct data. Right now, we will see the process of data cleaning. See, this is the diagram of data cleaning. First is it will first step is removal of unwanted observation, then fixing the structural errors, next managing unwanted outliers, then handling missing data, and last one is validate and QA. Now we will move forward and see that removal of unwanted observation. Removal unwanted observation. What is meant unwanted observation? Mostly when we collect the data from the sources, from the sites, then automatically some data is entered into our system. That data should be structured, unstructured, even sometimes it should be duplication of data. It should be some irrelevant observation, and these duplicate observation, some irrelevant observation, we have to remove. And mostly these will happen at the time of only data collection, and we have to remove. These are the problem for our data set. These are the problem for our data. These things we have to remove in the first step. That means when you combine your data from the different sources, or you can say scrap data, some received data from the clients, from some department, then there should be possibilities of the duplication of data. So you have to avoid these things, and or We can say, for example, if you want to analyze the data of the mis- customers, but your data set is a old version, your data set is of old version, then you have to remove those irrelevant observations. How you will remove that on irrelevant observation after applying the data cleaning process. So this can make analysis more efficient and minimize distraction from your primary target, as well as creating more manageable and more performant data set. That means after removing the unwanted observation, your data should be very manageable. That your data set will give the good performance, and it will be very accurate, and it will be the very correct data. Even it will remove the duplicate data and some irrelevant observations. Now next, fixing the structural errors. Fixing the structural error means, obviously, when we have to prepare the sum table, sometimes what happens, we used to keep the sum values different. Like, for example, we can say this is the table, serial number, first name and last name. First, one, two, three. First name, last name, and I am using here any. I am not using here XYZ and Z. Okay. Now I'm using this type of data. I have prepared this table. So if you are doing something, then there should be the format. There should be the format. It has the some structure. That means you have to follow that structure. For example, you are doing the programming. You are writing a programming code. Then at that time, if you miss the semicolon, then obviously you will write only semicolon. That means you miss the semicolon. That means it is showing that you have done structural error. You have done structural error. You have to avoid these things. You have to avoid these things. If sometimes you forget to write some function, at that time also you have done some structural error. Then structural errors you miss structural errors are when you measure or transfer the data or notice strange naming conventions, some typos, some incorrect capitalization. That means inconsistencies can cause mislabeled categories or classes. There should not be mislabeled. There should not be missed any value. It should not be any different structure. It should follow the same structure. It should be follow same structure. That means if I want to write here any and any, then it will be followed. Any means not applicable. And but I have written here. I have written here any, and I have written here not applicable. Then obviously there is a structural error. There is a structural error. That means your data should be same format. Your data should be in same format. There should not be any structural error. That means the data cleaning is used for fixing the structural error also. Now next we will see managing unwanted outliers. Managing unwanted outliers. First we will see what is meant by outliers. What is meant by outliers? Outliers means we can say it's like a error. It's like error. But if outliers is uh, available in your system, in your model, then it will cause the problem with certain type of models. Not for every models, but it will cause the problem for certain type, for some type of model. For example, linear regression models are less robust to outliers than decision tree models. Sometimes, if you want to remove the outliers, then there should be the reason. There should be valid reason for removing it. Sometimes it will work for it, sometimes it will not work. Sometimes it will improve your performance, sometimes it will not improve your performance. That means outlier there should be the particular reason for removing that outliers. One must good reason to remove the outliers, such as suspicious measurement that is unlikely to be a part of real data. Now we will see next, handling missing data. Just before slide, previous slide, I have said that your data should be filled, your data set should be filled with the data. There should not be any missing value. If there is a missing value, so we can't ignore that missing data, because sometimes what happens, many algorithms will not accept the missing values. It will not accept the missing value. We can, and it will not gives the particular output. That's why there is a couple of ways to deal with missing data. There is a couple. There are different ways for dealing with the missing data. So now we will see one by one. First option is you can drop the observation. First is you can drop the observation, but always it will not work for you, because if you drop the observation, then there should be data loss, and that data should be important for next model, should be important for some other things. So we cannot drop the observation, we cannot drop that data. Next one, then second option is you can input the missing values. You can input the missing value. You can enter the data. You can enter the missing values. But there are chances to loss to integrity of the data. There is a chance to lose the integrity of data, because after operating from assumption and not actual observation, you may be operating you can consider the data from the assumptions, some actual observations. That's why second option, there is a second option also, that is you can input missing values. Then third option is you might alter the way of data. You might alter the way of data, which is used to effectively navigate the your null values. Automatically, it will navigate null values. That means if you want to handle the missing data, then there are three ways. First is you can drop the missing value, you can drop the observations. Then second is you can enter the input data, and the third one is you can alter the way of data. Now, last one is validate and query. After data cleaning, this is the last step of validate and query. end of the data cleaning process, you should be able to answer the some question. That is, first one is, does the data make sense? That means, is there any sense in your data? Then second one is, does the data follow appropriate rules for its field? You have to check that, you have to find out the answer, that is there any format, is there any rules which are following your data, which are following your fields. Then third one is, does it prove or disprove your working theory or bring any insight to light? You have to find out, is it true or disprove? That means, did you get the particular result or not? And even you have to find out, is it bringing any insight to light? Then you can you find trends in the data to help you form your next theory. Even after that, you have to find out that data will be usable for your next theory or not. Then, if not, is that because of data quality issue? If that theory is not usable for your next theory, then you have to find out, is there any quality issue? Is there any data quality issue? That means you have to find out the answers of these questions at the end of the data cleaning process. If you got false conclusions, that means your data is incorrect or dirty. Your data is incorrect or dirty. It will not help for the decision process. It will not help in the business strategy and decision making. If there is a false conclusion, there is a wrong conclusions, then automatically it will not provide any security. It will not provide any security. Then again, it can decrease the accuracy and correctness of your data. It can decrease the accuracy of correctness of your data. That means it is important to create culture of quality data in your organization. For doing this, you should document the tools you might use to create this culture and what the quality means to you. Now, next part we will see in the next session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.